I'm shooting this video for my private lesson group on my website and Facebook, but I figured I'd share with you guys. You can find this in my Amazon store. It's a little ball you can put on your office chair. It fills with air. I have too much air in it right now, and my chair is too tall, and I'm going to die trying to sit in it. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, so exercises to use said squishy ball. A lot of times when you ask people to sit back, they do this, which puts their weight way ass back here. Sitting in helps a ton, belly button to your spine. And then people do a really great job of teaching proper equitation, like a really good job of proper equitation, proper canter work. But then those riders then cross the hump from school horse to a horse they need to have an effect on. So they are now becoming an effective rider, which means they have to move, right? And that's where things get a little bit fishy, because they go, why is the horse coming off the rail? Why is it falling in a certain way? And I'm trying to push it over. Well, you aren't able to kind of rate it over because your body weight is over to the outside. So you've got to get comfortable either moving your inseam over and then asking it to move over. You have to also think, what is coming off the rail? You can also serpentine them to get them back on the rail. Remember, there's a braced that's preventing them from getting to the rail. They're physically unbalanced, most of them. Occasionally you get your little waffle that struggles mentally, right? So as you're becoming an effective rider, please remember the horse underneath you is not 100% balanced either. It also has a mind of its own. It has feelings of its own. When you're warming up, take your time to have an effective warm up. Don't just walk and then take up the reins. That's the biggest peeve in my entire program. Don't walk for no reason and then be like, well, time's up, and then take up the reins and be like, why does she lift her head? She lifts her head. Well, of course she lifts her head. You just pull her reins like 10 feet up. While you're walking, I want you to think about drawing a circle with your right sitting bone. Can you draw it both directions? Can you do it with your left sitting bone? Can you drop your hip? Can you drop your other hip? Can you kind of encourage a little bit of an oblique crunch? It's hard with the bigger girls. You can see it better on the skinny girls. Can you even push back? Can you really feel that in your walk of your horse? If not, their backs aren't warmed up properly. You have to do a bit more work. Whenever I tell my riders to open the door, what happens is, as they open the door, the bit slides through the mouth and the outside of the bridle helps bring the head around. And then I use like a semicircle with my hand, put a little bit more weight on my inside sitting bone and kind of push them. I do it for a couple of strides. Let me serpentine the other way and then serpentine the other way. And I'm just doing it drastically. I've also started to incorporate in my teaching right shoulder back, left shoulder back. JJ Tate says that a lot. I say bicycle pedal backwards. Felicitas says that a lot. This might not work, but we'll try it. So if you have contact and then you roll, 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 or just roll, roll backwards, if you notice there's a pickup and release and a pickup and release. The release is really important. Most riders ride with a bit of a death grip, and then if they relax, the balance is gone, right? I did a video earlier about a standing martingale on the nose band. It's a balance point for them to bounce off of, not meant to sustain their balance. So if you're kind of riding along and you just roll your arm or roll whatever arm is showing tension in their neck or shoulders, you can even roll it all the way down to your foot. What I mean by this, draw a circle with your shoulder and watch. It does a ton of work with your arm and has an effect on the connection with the bridle. You can then let it kind of shift all the way down your back and let it sink into your hip as well. And it can even go all the way down to your heel. So you're really rolling, 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 rolling. And it's not a pull. This is a pull. This is a pull. This is just my shoulders are down my back and I'm just rolling and then releasing, rolling and then releasing. So there's all kinds of things you can do on your ball. This is a little bit too tall. You could probably do it on your couch. This loosens you up a ton and makes you aware. Ideally, you're able to do all of this without dropping your shoulders. Can you move your shoulders without it affecting your hips? And can you move your shoulders with it affecting your hips? So that's an exercise. Teaching yourself the bicycle pedal backwards and the semicircle serpentine of 2 to 3 strides is very common in my lesson groups, online and in person, and it's meant to help encourage fluidity, rhythm, and relaxation, as well as independent balance, Hope that helps.